I mean, it really is. Learning to read stuff like this, and the fact that your brain starts actually trying to rationalize what the person says instead of correcting it because you've read so much of it that it's actually starting to damage your fucking brain cells. I mean, honestly, what do you say about insanity like this? The Hashata Bible, the official chronicles of the Hashata religion. So you made up your own culty little fucking religion because someone called you a dumb fuck on YouTube. Right. It should be written in memory of the brain cells of everyone who's stuck to listen to this shit. I apologize to everyone for the brain cells they are about to lose. The official chronicles. Okay, let's see. Words of truth for humanity today. Again, how can you define what your idea of the truth is if other people don't necessarily agree with it? Considering the fact that no one ever agrees with you at all, how can you define it to be true if no one sides with you on anything? By Anjane, we mean Stetson Hardwick. Official book of the Democratic Republic of Deminguk Shania, Ministry of Education. I thought education and religion wasn't meant to be separate because religion might contaminate people's ability to think critically, since religion is in and of itself is a doctrine devoted to making people think and act the same way. Dedicated to all those who actually care about the future of humanity, and those who respects the written word, and those who respect those who write it. What the hell was the point? Like, respects and then respect. Like, could you actually, again, spell check this? Also dedicated to Madison Who, MLC, my family and friends, and all those who work hard to do a peaceful service to others. What exactly would you define a peaceful service to others if your entire cause for existing is to needlessly instigate shit with people? I mean, what would you call that? Chapter 1. The background of Hashata. Well, we already know the background of Hashata. Hashata was the last name of someone that you were sexually harassing on Facebook. And when people brought up the fact that you were a pedophile supporter, the dude decided to ghost you. But let's read. Hashata is a religion built on the scientific principles of reality, truth, facts, and knowledge. Facts and truth are the same thing. You moron. Again, religion and science are actually antithetical towards one another because religion is entirely based upon faith, whereas science is based upon empirical data and collection of data through observation and through experimentation. Those two things are on completely opposite ends of the pole from one another. Christ. It is the answer to the many fallacies, false doctrine, and unintelligent beliefs that are taught by the conservatives, right by the individual like Gage and the GT cult. Jimmy, Donnie, Gabriel, and Frank the Swagger. No one gives a fuck about the Swaggerts. Jesse Lee Peterson and many others. Jesse Lee Peterson is 1,000 times smarter than your sorry ass is. There's a difference between someone being bigoted and then there's just someone simply saying, objectively speaking, there are only two biological sexes. But there are people who might identify differently in terms of how they express their gender, which is different from sex, if only by a few degrees. It's a religion that answers the question of life on a universal basis. Again, you misspelled basis and you used the wrong word. You used the wrong type of base. Instead of basis as in frequency, it's basis as in its military installment. Meaning that sad answers benefits all of humanity. You mean benefit all of humanity. And not just a select few who follow said beliefs. For example, how Christians believe that only good things happen to those who are Christians. Actually, most people who are Christian don't care what religion you are, just so long as you're good to others. It does not discriminate, hate, persecute, demonize others. However, said religion crushes lies descriptions by the conservative right, also brings to shame the very notion that we the people, humanity, has no control over our own destiny. You mean have no control over your own destiny. No, here's the thing. Destiny is not controlled by anyone because destiny is something that's destined. It's preordained by fate. The difference between something that's been predetermined and something that is still ongoing is that something that's ongoing is essentially like scribbles in the sand. It can be changed with the right movement, with the right decisions. However, when something is predetermined to happen, it means that the outcome's going to be the same regardless of the result. But you're a moron, so whether Gage or these conservatives admit to their hypocritical ideology or not does not matter. Again, like, why do you need to bring me up? Am I like the devil of this little retarded book? Are you Jesus and am I the devil? Are you like trying to act out some sort of like the religious type of theocracy when it comes to like what's going on here? Conservatives don't have the personal integrity to admit when they are wrong anyway. What matters is that you take care of your own intellectual health and well-being, because Gage doesn't care about you. I love how you're just immediately saying that I don't care about whoever's reading this. I'm reading this for people who might buy it because I don't want them to waste money on this garbage. The reason I pay for Amazon Kindle Unlimited is so that people can hear this shit without having to fork over their fucking money. I'm putting myself through this torture for others just because I don't want them to give you a fucking penny. I'm doing this for you guys. I'm doing this for you. The rest of these conservatives don't care about you. Those who love you will love you for who you are unconditionally and forevermore. Well, wait a minute. How can you determine who loves someone and who doesn't if you yourself deny the fact that someone who you call a conservative has the capacity to love and appreciate another human being? I mean, if anyone doesn't seem to possess the capacity to love, it's you, because you seem to immediately equate sexual attraction to love, because you don't seem to understand that love is a very deep feeling, it's a deep relationship. Instead of just, well, I like you, so we're in love. Like a fucking retarded duck. Those who hate you like conservatives will call you names, speak badly about you behind your back on YouTube, will not give you the respect that you deserve, and will make up fake news for make excuses for doing evil against you while stereotyping you under fake labels, and will encourage others to do harm against you and or motivate you to harm yourself for their own personal gain. That feels awfully pointed. Mm-hmm. Remember, if people don't like you because you talk a bunch of shit to them about their problems that you have no business to talk about, it immediately means that they're just being assholes to you. Because some screeching fucking cross-eyed crybaby needs to constantly put all of his personal problems and all of his personal fuck-ups on the backs of others. Life is what you make of it. Yeah, that is true, but you don't seem to have done much with yours. If you love someone but your neighbor does not approve of who you love, it does not matter. It does when the person you love is that neighbor's child. Which, oddly enough, sounds like something that you would actually do, considering your pedophilic interests. You sick fuck. For you are not the problem for loving another, but they are the problem for meddling into your personal affairs. You mean like how you meddle into other people's personal affairs and try to dig yourself into other people's personal lives like an annoying little fucking leech trying to drain things from them because you have nothing going on for yourself? I mean, it's one thing if you're critical of someone and you don't like what they're saying about you. It's another when you make it a point to basically lodge yourself halfway up their fucking ass and try to staple yourself to them like a fucking parasite, trying to mooch fucking time and energy away from them, to pester them with your stupid fucking petty nonsense when no one else wants anything to do with it except you. For their fate is stamped and laced in a self-inflicted curse, but you will be at peace forevermore. Again, there's a difference between being critical of someone for having a sick sexual attraction to kids, and then there's doing what you do, where you continue to whine and complain about people being concerned about what that could mean to that person that the adult is attracted to, especially that person's child who doesn't know any better. Hashata knows no race, sexuality, age. Oh, you said age. You said age. You acknowledge it as a thing now. Good job, fuckface. Religion. Well, wait a minute. So Hashata itself is its own religion. So how could a religion exist within another religion? I mean, wouldn't it be considered heresy or blasphemy to go against your particular religion if someone that's trying to practice this religion is going under a different religion? I mean, Isn't that the very concept of that? Religion, date of birth. You realize that date of birth and age are correlated, fuckface. IQ, height, weight, etc. Why would you need to include height, weight, or IQ? It is for everybody to benefit from, to enjoy, and to be educated by, and to share with others. Age never existed, and no amount of numbers will ever have the ability, the powers to control your mind, body, and or spirit. Again, age doesn't control your mind. It's used as a tool of measurement to determine how you've most likely matured. Ironically enough, you use the word age in this little descriptor, but then you immediately try to rebut what you said, despite the fact that you used age as a criteria for how someone's not going to be discriminated against, while at the same time denying one of the non-discriminatory criteria that you used. Numbers do not determine what you can do with your own life. There's a difference between numbers determining that, and then there's like personal awareness of the consequences changing that. I mean, do you think someone's mother is not allowed to tell them that they can't smoke or go drinking when they're like 9 years old and they don't understand that they're damaging their lungs and their liver, respectively? It was not to restrict you of living your own way and creating your own truth. Well, wait a minute. My question is this. How can you determine whose truth is whose and what the truth is if you say you're teaching people the truth? Then does that mean that you're living your own truth and you're trying to make other people believe it by trying to explain your truth and trying to use it as an auspices to get people under your control? I mean, the concept of everyone living by their own morals and living by their own truth kind of defeats the purpose of starting a religion, does it not? Because a religion is made to dictate whether or not a person or a group of people may act within a certain degree of decorum. And the fact that you created this little bullshit culty religion just to immediately say that it's about creating one's own truth kind of defeats the purpose of it being a religion. Hashata is not oppressive, demanding, or demonic in nature. It does not hate, boast, create, chaos. You misspelled chaos, fuckface. Lie, slander, harass others, pressure others to submit, or any other harmful thing that poisons humanity today. The truth is, Hashata is the answer to your life's problems. From homelessness to conservatism to being filled with hate, being a bully, etc. It comes at all of your problems from clinical observation point where you will not be deceived and go off to follow those doctrines which is false and which are wrong. So what you're saying is you're filling other people's heads with your predisposed ideas. Instead of suggesting that people like talk to a therapist if they're depressed, or talk to their friends and family if there's something going on with them psychologically, your first thought is to immediately make it all about disliking the person that mocks you, and then immediately try to make it about filling people's heads with your ideas that you made up, that you don't actually document or prove. You're essentially taking pieces from from other religious texts and from other religious practices, and essentially trying to put them all in a blender and trying to say that they're somehow going to be beneficial when the reality is just the concept of an organized religion that says that you should live your own truth is kind of the exact opposite of an organized religion, because an organized religion is designed to give people a doctrine, where this is doctrine, but the doctrine is anti-doctrine. So it's this really weird, fucked up kind of contradiction. It's this like sense of not being, but also being. It's like this weird little duality that makes no fucking sense. At the end of the day, you need not be ignorant of Satan's devices. Dude, Satan is a demon, the king of lies, the father of lies, the king of evil. You realize that Satan is a character from the Bible, from Christianity. Christianity, the same religion that you shit on non-fucking stop. So what the hell is the point of stealing a name from an evil theistic figure from a religion that you yourself fucking hate? Nor shall you be susceptible to the temptation of the evil one, aka those who want to control and manipulate you outside of your existence within the realm of free will. You basically just said, lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Again, you essentially copied part of a fucking prayer from Christianity and threw it in there. Is this what it's gonna be, like a bunch of shit borrowed from Christianity while at the same time you bitch about Christianity? Here's the thing, if you want to criticize Christianity for the Old Testament and a lot of the crazy shit that happened in the Bible and a lot of the crazy shit that's being said, and a lot of the fucked up beliefs they had, alright. I'll point at that and say, yeah, this is fucking bullshit that these people acted this way because of this book. But at the same time, people don't really act that way nearly as much, if at all. Christ. Hashata allows everyone to think logically and with open-minded, to see the world as what it really is, without the blinders, aka the lies of conservatism, censoring your view of reality. Actually, reality has no bounds, and as we advance as human beings, we must be able to discern the difference between reality and conservatism, aka corrupted reality. Dude, people can't corrupt reality. If people can objectively prove what they're saying by using statistics and science and things that are actually solid and concrete enough to back up what they're saying, then it's not corrupted reality. In fact, it's you who's living in his own little fucking delusion when he keeps making up his little bullshit fucking religion to try to tell other people, that guy bad. Now it is time to arm yourselves with knowledge to protect yourselves against the ignorance and a simple mind, aka closed-minded conservatives, like Gade and others, and countless others, who will get mad, but nobody cares. Their madness will not be a deterrent to you to live your life to its fullest, nor shall these conservatives be a stumbling block to your transitioning into a better you. Do you want to know how a person can really be a better person? To get the fuck away from you. To think for themselves. To ask questions, but only expect answers when the questions are reasonable and understandable. To make their own conclusions about life instead of listening to you or I about whether or not what they should believe. You don't have to suffer any longer from being a slave to a capitalistic conservative society / lifestyle. If people don't want to be living in a society where capitalism and conservatism exist, they can always go someplace where conservatism is relatively low, like someplace like Switzerland, where the gay community is like a lot more sway because it was accepted a lot longer. Hashata allows you to be intelligent enough to create your own form of living outside the confines and restrictions of the conservative right. It gives you the authority to be free. Free from mental manipulation, emotional stress, debt, hunger, suffering, etc. So basically, you're just promising people that if they convert to your religion, that every one of their problems will just fade away. Like, yeah, people are depressed because they might not feel good about their body. They might not feel great because they have like a really bad hand of genetics that causes them to feel shitty about themselves for no real reason. You say your little bullshit religion's gonna take that away. No, it won't. A lot of people use religion as a coping mechanism, and it can help a little bit. But when it comes to someone who essentially just copies and pastes things from other religions and then shits on the religions it steals from, it's kind of hilarious that you're so fucking stupid that you'll do that and immediately seem confused that it didn't pan out well. For only fools suffer in life, but those who are wise live life to the fullest. Well, what about people who are in Africa right now starving to death? Do you think they're fools because they happen to be born into a really bad social circumstance? What about people who come home from school, for example, and their parents beat the shit out of them every day for no reason? Do you think those people are fools because they can't really dictate their own situation because they might not have the authority or the voice to really tell people what's happening to them? I mean, it kind of sounds like you're cutting out the entire human experience when you're immediately discounting everyone that's ever suffered in life as a fool because other people or a situation might have made them suffer, even though they themselves had no real control over the situation. You kind of sound like a douche. Protect yourselves from the evil conservatism that plagues us in the world today. Take care of yourselves and your families with pride and wisdom. Be successful and remain successful all throughout your lifetime. All you need is Hashata. Hashata equals truth. So, people need your religion to be successful. Instead of just having the drive to really succeed, they need your religion to succeed. Yeah, you totally don't sound like a fucking cult leader when you straight up say that your religion is necessary and required for people just to be happy with life. Religion is a choice for anyone. And the fact that you continue to try to. You're essentially trying to force people to believe what you say by saying that the religion that you're trying to push upon them will somehow increase the likelihood of their life being better. When the reality is, it just sounds like you want to control people. Chapter 2, The Truth About Conservatism. Oh. Yeah, let's listen to it. One of the many techniques that exist within the sense of religion is age never existed. It is a very depth of ideology. Its own numbers has no control over your personal abilities as a human being. Anyone can be an actor, anyone can sing a song, anyone can be a genius, etc. Numbers may hinder your self growth if you allow them, aka believing in a conservative notion that age does exist. So what you're saying is it's crazy to believe that the longer you're alive, the more you physically and psychologically develop. And despite the fact that we have evidence to prove this, you keep screeching like a fucking retard about it. However, you are only hurting yourself. Why? Because, for one thing, there is much more than a label in the mind of a conservative. You are not a code, and this is not the Matrix. You have feelings, emotions, etc. And the only thing that you are capable of doing with your own body, which includes sex, studies, choosing your gender, planning in the future, etc. You don't choose your gender. Fuckface. People with dysphoria don't choose to have gender dysphoria. If people want to like express their gender differently, that's fine. But what you're referring to is that you're straight up saying that a person can choose their biological sex, which is bullshit. Yeah, like all those people that suffer from gender dysphoria who transition to alleviate the stress and the constant anxiety that the dysphoria creates. Like, you're kind of pissing on transgender people when you immediately say, well, you can choose. Like, people don't want to choose. Like, most people are happy the way they are, and those that aren't fortunate enough to have gender dysphoria. Now, luckily, many of these people can transition, and it will be better for them. But that's beside the point. Here's the thing. Being alive a certain number of years doesn't mean that you're not able to feel emotions. It's just that the longer you're alive, the more in touch with your emotions you become. As you grow and as you mature, you start to understand your emotions. You start to be able to actually comprehend why you feel them and what's causing them to be felt that way. Like when you're a child, for example, and you feel jealousy for the first time, you might not understand why you feel that way until you grow a little bit or until someone kind of explains to you what it is, and then you understand it a little bit more. But that's the point. Is like you have to be able to understand it for yourself before you can make a decision. This is the truth that cannot be denied, and only a fool would try to corrupt the truth. You know what gender you are, period. That is true. No matter what the conservatives say, you know who you are, what you stand for, and what you believe. Well, wait a minute. If a person knows what they stand for and what they are and what they believe, then why are you trying to decide what they believe for them? Just like how you've tried to talk on my behalf about what I believe when I don't believe in 90% of the shit you say. I don't believe in I don't believe in treating anyone of different races poorly. I don't believe in treating women poorly. I don't believe in attacking the gay or transgender community poorly. What I believe is that pedophiles and child molesters are sick fucks. But that's not the same thing as attacking all those other people who are not involved in it. From day one, you are destined for greatness and success. Not every person is going to be great. Not every person is going to succeed. Most of us, people in general, will have a pretty decent life if we know how to make all the right decisions and avoid breaking all the wrong laws. The only reason why people run into problems is because of a corrupted society based on an inaccurate societal social ideology. Hashata states that those who are told you cannot are the ones who do it best. For example, Gay told me you cannot run for president. It means that not only can I run for president, but I could defeat the opposition, even Donald Trump, despite the fact that you have not been alive long enough to fucking run. You basically lied so much on your application, on your Vote Smart profile, that no one takes you fucking seriously because you babble out of your asshole all the time. Failure is only for those who choose to quit. And those who quit are indeed failures. Okay, so what you're saying is, like, imagine, for example, if someone's climbing a fucking mountain and they end up falling off the mountain and they take so much physical injury from it that they're paralyzed from the neck down. Are they a failure because they fucking quit when they realize that they can't fucking climb anymore? I mean, failure is a natural part of life, and it's a natural part to understand and accept failure when failure is a natural result. But failure is not an excuse to just quit. Failure is a reason to learn and try again. However, if you don't want to do something again because you know for a fact it's just going to affect you negatively if you try again, then it's perfectly fine to quit because you realize it's not worth the energy. That does not make someone a failure if they just simply say, yeah, this is a bunch of fucking bullshit and I'm not going to be fucking part of it. That's just simply someone straight up acknowledging the fact that it's not worth their time. But those who stand firm in their beliefs will never fail, and their success is guaranteed to them in for a lifetime. Despite the fact that every time you say the same crazy shit, no one ever believes you, and you seem to be bouncing from one psych ward to the other because no one fucking takes you seriously, and you sound like a fucking lunatic. True failure comes from a lack of personal faith, aka faith in oneself. If you believe that you are ugly, then you will never be beautiful. Here's the thing. Just because you believe you're beautiful doesn't mean you're not. Just because you believe you're beautiful doesn't mean you are. It's okay to have some self-worth. It's okay to have self-respect. But when you go above and beyond to keep saying that you're better than everyone around you because you screech like an asshole, it kind of proves that you're overcompensating. I will admit that I'm fucking average looking and I can actually live with that because realistically speaking, not everyone's going to be a supermodel. It's a completely normal expectation to have when it comes to aesthetics. The whole world can tell you otherwise, but as long as you believe that you are ugly, it is impossible for you to be beautiful. Again, self-confidence does not just change how you are. Self-confidence may improve how you stand with people when they realize that you're not gonna just give up and rumble. But at the same time, when you just continue to like repeat the same shit, it makes it hard for anyone to take you seriously. True beauty comes from within, and those also who believe the truth radiate beauty for all the world to see. So what you're saying is that if people believe your religion, they're just magically beautiful. Like you could be like a 2 in the dark, and you're still beautiful because you believe in Stetson's crazy ass fucking cult. A perfect example is Gage. Now, Gage is a conservative naysayer of the state of Michigan in the northern half of the United States, which is part of the Midwest. Gage has a tendency to spew hateful propaganda against non-conservatives. He is rude, violent, self-centered. Please refer to the Non-Serious book series by Okay, so you're just gonna suck your own dick. Please refer to my other turds that will continue to assassinate this person's character because I'm a fucking retard who can't use anyone else as a character study. So I'm going to look at Gage. Gage makes 8 propaganda videos on YouTube channel. You get a Zoom guy channel. I see an ugly monster with greasy skin and a god complex, meaning I see Gage as ugly. Well, wait a minute. Why are you the one that dictates who's ugly and who's not? Is it because I don't believe in your little culty religion? You little crazy ass maniac? Meaning that I see Gage for me is ugly. Why? Because hatred is in his heart, and like beauty, hatred also comes from within. It can be seen by the world. The difference being that beauty is an attractive quality in humanity. For example, Madison, who and Amos we are beautiful and attracts many people around the world to enjoy their existence, while hatred is something that is abhorred by humanity. For example, Gage and Donald Trump are ugly and non-existent to conservative humanity, which is why there are no sexy conservatives anywhere in the world. Candace Owens. This is not only a physical beauty in Madison and Amos as it is well, but a spiritual beauty that radiates out of their external body. The only way that to be truly beautiful is to be kind to others and take care of your spiritual being. There's a difference between being kind to others and then there's just needlessly sucking your dick and telling you that every shitty thing you've ever done to someone is justified because you're a schizoid who refuses to take accountability for his own actions. I mean, let's face it, you're a douche. Everything you've done has always been your doing, and you're trying to make other people feel guilty about it because you're an asshole who can't just simply say, yeah, you know what, maybe this isn't the way to be. Fuck yourself. How do you take care of your spiritual being? With wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, aka feed yourself a non-corrupted spiritual food. Conservative ideology is corrupted and contradictory at best. You've contradicted yourself several fucking times in this. Clearly, that is not the proper spiritual food for your soul, but Hashata is a non-corrupted, free-spirited food, which is why I'm a fan of Barack Obama, but not Donald Trump. Intellectual food refers to an education. Physical food, of course, things are like bananas, oranges, Oreos, etc. Oreos don't really have a lot of health for you because they're nothing but fucking sugar. In some cases, like the case, like the body is sexy, but the spirit is, which is evil. From even the Christians believe that devil comes to steal, kill, and destroy. Conservatism is the works of the devil, and those who follow said ideology and lifestyle are indeed the creations of Satan. Again, fuckface, you're using Christianity's monster, the devil himself, like the personification of humanity's evil, and you're trying to use that as a way to call Christians evil. So what you're saying is Christians, who actually are relatively mellow, unless you count those Westboro Baptist Church fucking lunatics, are actually completely mellow. But then you say, well, the Christians are the products of Satan. Meanwhile, everyone else is like, what the fuck are you talking about? Yeah, some of them are annoying as hell, but I'm not gonna say that they're fucking evil. Unless you count those, like, fucking Baptists, like, those crazy Jehovah's Witness fucking lunatics and those Westboro Baptist Church assholes. That being said, Hashata teaches those who are evil that can be turned good, meaning that people like Gage does not have to remain in a lifestyle of normal turpitude and ignorance. This is only comes with receiving a vast education on the truth. Only the open-minded can fully obtain, let alone fully understand the realities of the universe and the things within. Gage does not understand reality because he is blinded by his alternative reality, aka conservatism, so nothing that opens up discussion as true reality will ever be understood by conservatives like Gage. But because their ideology understandings are limited at best, Hashata teaches that a limited mind is closed mind, and a closed mind is the mind of a fool. Conservatism is the ideology of fools, and you deserve so much better than foolishness and a corrupted mind. So what you're saying is that your religion is like, our way is the only way. My way is the only way. If you don't consort to my little culty religion, you're just as bad as the actual fucking Jehovah's Witness dickheads from the Watchtower Society or the Westboro Baptist Church fuckheads. That's basically just fucking come right out and say it. You think anyone that doesn't agree with you, that doesn't believe with this culty shit, is immediately a fucking like a monster or some sort of demonic entity, despite the fact those things don't fucking exist. It is the truth that sound mind leads to a happy soul, which is why your mind is essentially just a bunch of screaming. But a corrupted soul only leads to a corrupted mind. Inner peace only comes when you open your mind. Corruption does not bring peace, and a closed mind only corruption is your life. The belief of age is corrupted, and nothing more than the group of people 18 plus are somehow better than the rest of the human race, 70 under, sin against humanity as a whole. There's a difference between saying that people that are more mature are going to be a lot more responsible, or at least make a lot less mistakes because they're a lot more prone to critically thinking, than someone who per se might not fully understand the context of the things they're doing because they have not lived long enough to really understand a lot of the undertakings they're getting involved in, you dumb fuck. You are a stupid, crazy motherfucker. For human beings are all created equal, and no form of corruption shall change the truth or divide humanity as a whole. There's a difference between separating people and then there's giving people groups of peers to associate with who will be able to relate to them and socialize with them a lot more than per se people who don't understand them because they haven't lived long enough to really understand how to socialize with others. I mean, really, do you think someone that's been a lot like a baby, for example, should be in fucking college, sitting in like a fucking college stair when they don't have fucking kneecaps yet, where they don't even know how to use a pencil? Age by itself is a form of segregation. It is a tactic that concerns to divide and conquer humanity in order to claim control over you and lead humanity into a checkmate. Conservatives hate intelligent people. There's nothing intelligent about anything you've said. Those who are intelligent will be persecuted and bullied by the conservatives because of their lack of unity with their beliefs. You can believe whatever dumb shit you want so long as you can actually prove it instead of just saying, my way is the only way and my religion is true because my religion is true. Hashata teaches that wisdom is most hated by fools. Jealousy is common with conservative circles. The fact that everyone, quote, must follow us as part of their agenda shows why they attack those who do not follow them. They believe in a hive mind doctrine that enslaves us into one world ideology where individuality is obsolete and interference is punishable. It's a punishable offense. You mean like how essentially you attacked an actual religion followed by millions of people to simply prop up your made up religion and trying to make it seem like it's somehow better, despite the fact it's actually stealing principles from Christianity and, I believe, Buddhism. Okay, maniac. Freedom as we know it will cease to exist. The only thing we know we can archive with goal is if they discriminate and destroy the open-minded person at large, those who wear two-piece swimsuits, listen to rap music, those who are in the LGBTP plus community or support the LGBT community, etc. No. I don't care if someone, like, again, no one has an issue with two pieces unless the person that's wearing it is, like, incredibly fucking obese. And another thing, I actually enjoy a lot of rap music, so you can go fuck yourself with that. I actually enjoy rap and hip hop. I do enjoy DMX, Tupac Shakur, Biggie Smalls, Notorious B.I.G., Marshall Mathers. Fuck. I'm trying to remember, like, I know I listen to a lot of different artists. Oh yeah, Tech Nine. Like, I do listen to a lot of fucking hip hop and shit like that, but the fact is, attacking it just because you think someone doesn't, just because you think someone doesn't like it, doesn't mean they do. This is why gays call gay people faggot and cocksucking sissy. This is also why gays bullies the open-minded, those who has enough intelligence to know what time it is. The conservatives are cracking down on humanity's intellectual freedom, a freedom to have a body that matches our gender identity. I'm a male to female transitioning transgender. The freedom to take hormones and create our bodies in our own image. You can do whatever you want with your own body so long as it's not affecting anyone else, physically or emotionally. I don't care if you're a transgender person or not. It's never been that issue. My issue is the fact that you talk like a dipshit out of your ass and constantly try to insinuate that you know people's lives when you really don't. The freedom to speak, the freedom to walk down the street in peace, and the freedom to speak out against those who oppress us. This is Conservatism 101. Hashata teaches that those who do not fight against intellectual oppression will become physical slaves to those who oppress you. Again, criticizing you and calling you a fucking crazy person for espousing a bunch of insane beliefs is not the same thing as walking up to you and tasering you and putting you in a straitjacket. Meaning that the mind controls the body, and the body cannot function without the mind. Therefore, the conservatives are attacking our minds in order to control our bodies, to control our movements and our livelihoods, our families, our race, aka the human race. Again, disagreeing with you is not the same thing as trying to manipulate an entire population of people to thinking one way or another. Your own religion is essentially a cult, but you don't want to admit it that it's kind of a cult. Chapter 3, the Anti-Oppression Movement. The Book of Number Wang. What the fuck is a number wang, by the way? Hold on, I'm gonna look that up real quick. I'm gonna see if that's actually a fucking thing that I just somehow was not aware of. Or if that's just something that he fucking made up on the spot. Because I'm torn. Part of me thinks that it might be like an actual legitimate thing that he ripped off of another Asian country. Yeah, number. Okay, so Number Wang is a. It's a sketch show. It's a sketch. Like, okay, so you stole the name of a sketch comedy show. Furthermore, those who separate themselves from the oppression will themselves separate themselves from their oppressors. For we are all destined to be free beings in an ever growing universe. Those who expand the knowledge of their minds will not be oppressed for circumstances, but will create a movement that will free their enslavement of their iniquities. For those iniquities were caused by corruption in society's circles, that which was created by the lack of knowledge, for foolishness was a cancer to their soul. Are you essentially just creating a bullshit fucking biblical passage and you're trying to use old school language to make it sound complex and intelligent because it really doesn't? But because knowledge, all things are possible, this is the division of the mind, body, and spirit is destroyed. Actually, your mind, body, and spirit are different things because even though your mind and body are united through your spinal column, the fact is your mind does think a lot of things that it does not act on because you have the subconscious and the conscious mind, and those two things are separated by your desire to act on them or not. In all things, be grateful that you are a human being, for no conservative can tear you down. Except for all the times people have mocked you, who've made you borderline suicidal because you're a moron who keeps getting offended when people tell you that you're a fucking lunatic. For those who build their intellectual mindset on a sound foundation, the earthquakes of injustice can never move you, until you start filing DMCAs. But those whose intelligence are limited and corrupted and mentally ripped apart, and the world as they know it will cease to exist. In all truth, build your body as a work of art, and your brains as a future equivalent of AI. Don't you love it when you try to talk like a genius, but then you start using things that completely clash with the motif you're going for? That's like me speaking in like old timey like Elizabethan English, and then immediately going down to "What's up, dog?" Like you see, like the fucking tone shift does not make fucking sense in that context because they never do. For the foolish will not wait. For the future will not wait for the foolish, and the past will not sustain their thirst. Beware of the conservatives who state that I am looking out for you. Or we are, turn the page, protecting your country's freedoms, for their lies will lead to your destruction. Beware of those that they say, if I did not kill the thousands, then they would have killed tens of thousands. For these people are terrorists, and their only home is hell. Beware of those who say age does exist, for those who believe that also believe in your intellectual enslavement. Follow those who are transitioning into a better them, for their blessings are also yours. Help those who are homeless when they are rich, for when they are rich, they will serve you in return. Do unto others as you want done unto yourself. Again, you just stole something from the Bible. Do not slander or deceive others for personal gain, nor accept any excuses for anyone doing evil for another. Okay, so these shall not bear false witness, so it's another commandment you just stolen. For fools get their revenge on the wise, but the wise will reap the rewards. Do not be envious of others. Okay, so do not covet thy neighbor's goods. Nor do you talk bad about people behind their backs, for those who gossip against is a curse. Again, these shall these shall not bear false witness on themselves for the entire generation. Do good things and good things happen to you. Okay, karma. Do bad things and it will come back to haunt you. Karma. For the haunting will double if you do not do it against another. Change yourself for the better existence of humanity, and for the existence of earth will be that living in heaven. Again, heaven is a Christian concept. Deny negative change and evil doctrine, for evil will lead you to homelessness, and but love will guide you to prosperity. Age never existed, for numbers did not create man, nor does numbers control man. Man control the use of numbers, just as humanity controls its own destiny. For without numbers there is man, but without man there are no numbers. Actually, numbers will still be used because you'll still be counting the number of days in a year, dumbass. And you'll still require numbers to do fundamentally any sort of task that requires any degree of arithmetic or mathematics. Happy are those who are peaceful and wise, for they shall discover the universe. Happy are those who do not follow conservatism, for your suffering will be at a minimum. Happy are those who protects the environment, for future generations will appreciate your service. Happy are those who are free of corruption. It is not in them. Peace be to those who obey wisdom and denounce capitalism. Okay, again, so peace be to those who obey your religion and denounce the economy. For the poor will be rich, and the rich can retain their financial glory, but those who shall spend all of their money are fools. But those who save their money will never be poor. Okay, so is that more or less an admittance that someone that saves their money is wise? Because a while ago you were harping on me for not blowing money on tens of thousands of dollars for a studio set. Global warming exists, and those who deny it will lead to humanity's destruction. Fools let problems manifest, but the wise solves the problem once and for all. Freedom of speech does not give you the justification to be an idiot. Irony overload. For it would be better if words were sent if your words were censored and there be his peace on earth, than for just you spew hatred and cause spiritual destruction towards others. Translation: it's okay for me to censor you because you call me a dumb fuck on YouTube. Because hate speech is the voice of the devil, but encouragement of others is the voice of God. Be encouraged to love others, even your enemies, for your enemies are just fools whose minds have not been frayed. Yeah, if you act like a shitty person to them, they just have to like you despite the fact that you're a fucking loon. Do not give up on the hard-headed and be calm to collect around conservatives, for conservatives love drama and will do anything to make you look bad. You do that on your own. Homosexuality and being part of the LGBT community is not a sin, nor is it an abomination, for the love has many good results, and homosexuality membership equates to love. Therefore, since love is good, homosexuality is good, the real sin exists when people have hatred for the LGBTP plus community, promoted by the conservatism who believe in it. For those who hate others are not of God, and love nor God is in their hearts. Love conquers hate, just as truth conquers slander. Fake news does not constitute as real news, for lies cannot be truth, and only a fool would believe a lie to be true. Like your delusions. For need an education, and those who will be rich in spirit. A person's sexual lifestyle is not the responsibility of the conservatives or of random people, but to the individual in question, who made a choice to have sex. All human beings have the right to sex, but those who deny it them as a right is against humanity, and is the true anti-human. Those who will promote the truth in the world are prophets, but those who deny truth are sinners. Again, you're essentially saying that because you believe you're right, you're a prophet. You're a self-fucking branded prophet, and everyone that goes against you is a sinner. I find it funny as hell that you're calling other people, like you call Christians, for example, a bunch of evil assholes sending everyone to fucking hell. Meanwhile, you're the one acting like you're the second coming of Jesus fucking Christ. I hope you get smashed across the face with a crucifix. I might not be a huge fan of Christianity, but I feel like the Christians are actually getting a worse rap because of dickheads like you, who essentially rip off a lot of their religion to make into this little culty nonsense. Death is not a natural occurrence in life, and it is wise to avoid it at all costs. Death is a natural occurrence. Death is the end of life. Life begets death. Like, what the fuck do you think happens when someone gets old and dies? It's because their body can no longer sustain the functions to continue life. For humanity's end does not come from God, but come from a man who destroys his own planet to fit their corrupted agenda. Well, what the fuck do you think happens when someone dies? Do you think that, what, do you think they just died because they wanted to die, or did they die because their body couldn't maintain the functions necessary to keep them alive anymore? I mean, the body shows wear and tear just like anything. The universe is attainable but only through wisdom, for an idiot would get sucked into a black hole, but the wise knows to avoid it. But keep out of trouble and do good, not and leave evil at the doorstep and make friends with knowledge. It will serve you in your lifetime. Good works come from good spirit, while bad works come from a corrupted spirit. But it is never too late to change your destiny, for even a wise man can act a fool. You mean like how even a crazy person can act like a cult leader like you? We are not at war with Christianity, nor its believers. War is a result of unrest, but Hashata is at peace with everyone. Really? Because you seem to talk an awful lot of smack about Christianity for no fucking reason. Like, what happened, fuckface? You watch a televangelist one time when you were, like, really, really malleable in your fucking head, and as a result, you essentially form this, like, waterhead concept of what a Christian is because you're so retarded you think that everyone that practices that religion has to be the same way because you're so fucking stupid that you don't know that Christianity has several different denominations and several different variations. The ironic part about Christianity is that it actually has like several variations that all practice the same religion. the same worship of the same God. The stories might be different slightly here and there, but the stories are usually unilaterally the fucking same. Chapter 4. Have faith. I would have a lot more faith if you were dead. The Book of Who? Who? Okay, so you're just naming books after random fucking people. Razor slash. It all come down to one thing. It would be that wisdom is the solution to everything. Love is the result of wisdom. No, love is the result of brain chemistry. Respect, dedication, and happiness, even socialism, is a direct result of wisdom. You realize that socialism has never worked out for any country, because in Venezuela they implement it and they have like food riots every other month because people can't afford to buy food because taxes are through the fucking roof. For those with wisdom would know that all people are valid and that you can't put a price on welfare or health or the health of humanity. Goddamn, this is actually fucking hurting me to read. Even though conservatives do it on a daily basis via capitalism. Dumb fuck? You realize that capitalism offers everyone a chance to build themselves from the ground up. From the moment you leave high school, you have the capacity to go out and make something of yourself. The fact that you didn't, and the fact that you need to write shit like this to make yourself feel like less of a fucking failure, makes a lot more fucking sense when people look at the shit you're saying here. For God is against capitalism. I don't think God gives a fuck about anything, realistically speaking. You're talking about a giant being who has never said jack shit about capitalism. Like, imagine, for example, if we were all dinosaurs millions of years ago, for the sake of argument. We're like, yeah, it's so cool being a dinosaur. Next thing you know, you see that asteroid coming up. Well, I guess God doesn't really give a shit. Boom! Like, fucking wipes everything out. Like, honestly, I don't, if there is a God out there, you're trying to ascribe traits to an entity that is so powerful, that is so powerful that it's beyond our ability to comprehend. And you're trying to say that God, which is essentially, like, for the sake of argument, you're talking about a being that does not have human qualities because it's so powerful and so vast that human qualities would not suit it at all. Like, a God would be driven insane by isolation because if there's more than one God, they would clash. I mean, for the sake of argument, if we are approaching this from like a theistic argument, a God doesn't care about its creations because a creation is so minimalistic to it that a God doesn't care. I mean, that's essentially the equivalent of a person walking up on a bunch of fleas and they see the fleas hopping around on a sheet of paper. They don't give a fuck about the fleas. In fact, they would probably see the fleas as a fucking nuisance and wipe them out when they realize they could spread and create a problem. For we are to love one another as equals, yet the rich, the 1%, are nowhere near the lower class. The suffering of humanity are economic disparity against everything that God stands for. Again, how can you decide what a God stands for if you yourself are not a cosmological entity who has no right whatsoever to speak on behalf of something that no human being can fucking comprehend? You fucking sped. God is no respect of person, yet capitalism favors the rich and the greedy over all else. God is against greed and therefore is against capitalism and conservatism. Again, despite the fact that Christianity, which is the worship of God, and God's Son in the Christian Bible, aka Jesus Christ, despite the fact that Christianity is dedicated to the worship of a God, God doesn't like these people who are conservative, who are prominently more Christian. That makes no... Like, again, you're contradicting yourself again. I mean, you say conservatives are Christian, you say Christians worship God, but you say God doesn't... God is against fucking conservatives. Not every conservative is greedy. You're essentially just showing that you're so stupid and brain dead that you'll just pick a side and ride with it to the very end. Sexiness is a blessing for the human race. The human body is a work of art, and we must treasure it and respect it at all costs. Tattoos are the choice of the individual, but do not go beyond your means. Who the fuck are you to have any right to tell people whether or not they can tattoo their body? fuck you. If you want to get piercings and tattoos, that is your business. Just be careful that you do it in the right way. Go through an actual registered tattoo artist who's licensed by the state, who is certified. Don't do it to someone who could give you a dirty needle and get you sick. Do not risk your health or your future for your want of tattoos, or even alcohol, money, or material things. Again, you say that it's all about personal choice and about a person seeking out their own truth, but you're making demands of people saying that they're not allowed to get tattooed as many times as they want, and that they're not allowed to drink, and they're not allowed to earn their own money, and they're not allowed to like nice things and want nice things. I'm not really a huge fan of materialism, but I understand that materialism is unfortunately part of living in the modern world. Do everything in moderation and your reward will be greater than even your own understanding. So what you're saying is that they can't comprehend their own rewards. They can't comprehend what their reward is, but you do. Right. Do everything in moderation. Okay, so what about having sex with your partners? Do you have to do that in moderation? What about just going to work? Do you have to do that in moderation? Like, what about all these things that you like doing that are not really harmful to you at all? Like, what about reading, playing video games, watching movies? Like, do you need to do these things in moderation as well? Or are you just trying to enforce a standard that you yourself have been forced to adhere to because you're being watched like a hawk? I really want to know. Nudity is a proud moment of humanity. Clothes are not part of us, and nudity is a choice and a human right. How is it a human right? People have a right to some food in their stomach, some water to drink, and a place to stay. Those are human rights. It is not the right to walk around naked and streak for other people to see, especially those who do not want to see it. For those who dress conservatively will suffer, but those who dress based on their comfort level will be relaxed and at peace. Well, what about those who dress conservatively because it's how comfortable they are in their own skin? I mean, you're contradicting yourself because you're saying, well, if you dress conservatively, you're bad. But if you dress how you're comfortable, then you're good. Well, what if people dress conservatively because that's how they're comfortable? Like, I don't wear tank tops because I particularly don't like the idea of walking around in a fucking wife beater. I don't really like the concept of wearing something that actually has a colloquialism associated with domestic violence that's attached to the name. That's just my own personal anecdote here. Do not let society destroy your self-worth. The only person that can destroy a person's self-worth is themselves. That's why they call it self-worth. For nudity is more important than internal suffering. We are all created naked and we shall die naked. Our clothing will not go with us in the next life. So why are you restricting yourselves to clothing in this life? For what you do in life will affect the next life. Do not think that suicide will end your suffering. Well, technically it will, but it will also pass on that suffering to people that you care about who are worried about you, because then they actually have to deal with losing a member of their family or their friend or their sexual partner. For those who suffer in this life will suffer in the next, stuck in limbo in the mentally anomaly of the fallen dreams and unanswered questions. So basically you just copied Catholicism's purgatory, but you've changed it to be something slightly different. Don't you love it when some fucking retard essentially copies a series of things from another religion just to keep telling themselves that they're being creative and innovative when they're just stealing someone else's shit? I mean, the shit you're talking about was written hundreds of fucking years ago, and you're essentially just switching words around here and there. We were put on this earth to build and to take care of this earth and the universe. You realize the universe is so incredibly large that nothing we could do can affect it. We can affect our planet, but that's as far as we can really go, because let's be honest, the universe would not miss us at all if we were gone, because there's nothing else going on it. We were created for a higher purpose. How the fuck do you know? to explore strange new worlds, to seek out new life and new understandings, to boldly go where no one has gone before. Humanity was never created to be stuck on one planet, but to multiply and to occupy the universe bodies that we all know as planets. So what you're saying is that we should spread this horrible fucking disease that we call our species to other fucking planets and destroy those too with our negligent bullshit nonsense. Now here's the thing, I don't dislike my species, but I acknowledge that our species has done some pretty fucked up shit for no reason at all, except for the fact that people could. Real freedom starts with the mind and flows outward, for slaves are bound by outdated ideology, but the wise stay with the times. It is a sin to pollute the environment or any planet, including Earth, and the universe as a whole, for your actions will punish future generations, and their blood will be on your hands. Yeah, if you drop a water bottle into a lake and someone picks it up like 2 days later, you just killed like 500 babies. Molestation never existed, and the lie that it does exist was created by the devil. Yeah, like the fact that there are people who come forward saying they've been sexually assaulted as a child by an adult or by an older child, that those people were created by the devil. It's the devil lying to them, guys. The devil's lying to them. The devil's lying to them. Like, is that your argument? Like, the made-up thing that's in a made-up religion, that's in a made-up continuity, is real now because you say it is, just so you can try to use that to dismiss what other people have brought up to you, you fucking spaz. The conservatives have no love in their heart for you and will say anything to deny you the life that you really deserve, a life of peace, love, and freedom. Raping children is not freedom, if you're hurting someone else. For love destroys no one, but the hatred of conservatives will destroy nations. Humanity shall not own a gun or any form of weapon. It is an abomination. So what you're saying is that no one should ever be allowed to have one of their own rights given to them by the people who initially established the country because you don't like guns. Let's just say it. You don't like guns and you think that owning a gun is a sin because you're a psychotic cult-leading pussy who believes that everyone at all that has any at all will to defend themselves is immediately the same thing as like some psycho that kills people for no fucking reason because you're so stupid and crazy you think everyone acts the same way. For self-defense, you are to act of the wise, but violence are the acts of terrorists. Rely on wisdom to protect your well-being and put aside pointless toys. A gun is not a toy, it's a weapon. A gun is designed to protect you. Here's the thing, dipshit. Do you think you're gonna be able to argue the dude with the knife in his hand from slitting the person's throat when he knows for a fact there's no way out of that hostage situation? Like, if he knows for a fact he's not gonna get the helicopter and that $2.5 million is not gonna be transferred to his offshore account, do you really think he's gonna go down just by, like, putting his hands up in the air and walking out if he knows for a fact that he has, like, 50 years in prison waiting ahead? Probably not. He's probably gonna go down shooting, and he'll probably, unfortunately, take a bunch of people with him. Unless one of the bank guards whips out his M17 and just blows it blows a hole in the dude's head. Now, unfortunately, he did have to kill that guy in that situation, but if he didn't, this dude could have hurt a bunch of other people. It's better to kill one person to save the life of many than to let a bunch of people be injured or killed just because you're a pussy who doesn't like saying mean words. For the very weapons that you own will be used against you, and the blood of the suffering of the innocent will forever be on your hands till death do you part from this universe. Dear retard, if someone is trying to kill you, and you defend yourself simply because they are trying to hurt you, that is not the same fucking thing as them attacking a random person walking down the street minding their own business who is completely unaware of the person's intent. You can knock this fucking bullshit grandstanding out with all the false equivalencies because, quite frankly, it's retarded. Black Lives Matter, and only a fool would oppress any person of any creed, race, heritage, sexuality, gender, etc. for any reason. Racism is an abomination to God, and those who make excuses of anti-human action will not see the blessings of... Turn the page. The next slide. But will be stuck in limbo till the end of the universe. Again, I don't like racism either. I think it's fucking crazy and stupid. I think it's a ridiculous, backward-ass type of way to look at things, because realistically, it doesn't suit any purpose to have any sort of racial prejudice. But realistically, why are you the one speaking on behalf of God, apparently? Like, what, are you the voice of God? Are you like his little fucking Metadrum angel who came down to, like, talk to everyone? Or are you just a fucking lunatic who wrote his own little culty bullshit and thinks that writing said culty bullshit inherently makes him smarter than everyone? I mean, really, you sound like a fucking lunatic. You do. This is not something that a sane person writes. I mean, I know you're fucking crazy, but fuck, I didn't know you were this nuts. For only wisdom can free you from your internal limbo. A new beginning will be set for you in a different point of time. But if you mess up, your limbo will continue until you learn the errors of your ways and do not commit your anti-human actions again. So essentially, you're threatening people to spend eternity in limbo unless they just do whatever you request of them. And this is not a cult how. White people are not the superior race, nor are they chosen people by God. No one said that except legitimate white supremacists. Humanity are all created equal, and all of us are chosen to do a great service to pave the way for the present and future generations to be closer and closer to the Enlightenment. Again, Enlightenment is a principle that believes in Buddhism, not Christianity. So essentially, you're stealing principles from Buddhism and Christianity and Catholicism, and you're putting them all in a giant blender. For fools will die alone, but the wise will live in numbers. Love your family as you love yourselves, without restriction. Be a vessel of hope for your loved ones, because everyone is your family, a human family, and all living things are part of a living family. Take care of each other. Do not keep yourselves, and take care of global neighbors. You are obligated to love one another, and no ounce of hatred or hateful opinions are justified. Correct those who are wrong respectfully and without incident. Give unto others and share your wealth. Selfishness will not bless you, but will curse you and your belongings. Guns are abominations against humanity and God itself. Again, you're straight up saying that an object is a crime against God, despite the fact the object is only made to protect the life of someone who might not be capable of defending themselves otherwise. Gun control, gun control, gun control. Whee! Are you sure this isn't just a political manifesto covered in the bullshit fucking tortilla shell of bullshit religious manifestos? Again, this is a cult. This is a legitimate fucking cult. This is a cult. Quite frankly, I don't like it at all. It's a cult. And no, it's not a cult in 1911. I mean, it's a C-U-L-T. Written by a C-U-N-T. Owning a gun is an admittance of foolishness and hatefulness in your heart. So what you're saying is even if someone owns a gun but has never used it to harm anyone, it's immediately the same thing as them killing people. Violence is never the answer, and objects of violence shall be abhorred. You mean like your existence? Shame to those who cause division between others and who claims to harm others. Happy are those who create new beginnings and keeps the end times from happening. Beware of false teachers who sit on TV and boast their success and knowledge, all the while tearing down people who oppose them. You mean like you do to other people all the fucking time? For those who they oppose, for their lies are their own destruction. Beware of conservatives who call evil good and good evil, who will smile in your face while stabbing you in the back, who is pro-racism but anti-homosexuality, who is hurting others in order to care for you. Those who are works of evil should not be welcomed in our spirits. Beware of fools who stand up at the street corners preaching hate and say, I love you, who calls love a sin and sin love, who lies about their true intentions while dragging you to death's door, who will act perfect while they sin against you, who stalk events of their opposition in order to cause disorder. These are signs of trouble, and you must be avoided to save your soul. Yes, save your soul, because if people mock you and point out the fact that you sound like a lunatic, it's the same thing as being dragged into eternal damnation. Dumb fuck. Avoid those who bash you on your clothing choices, your lifestyle choices, and those who are focused on a negative instead of the positive. If there were any positives, you'd actually be able to list any, but you can't. For their foolishness will make you wary, but be good of cheer and proud of who you are. For you are the future in the world, and the future will benefit from you. Do not be depressed over the words of conservatives, for their messages are the brainwashed and the idiots. Be motivated to change the world for the positive, for peace causes an end to all wars. Right. Do not let age stop you from living life to the fullest, for age is a non-existent and is the belief system of fools. Bring peace to the world and sin not, for you shall inherit the earth. Christianity. Beware the conservatives who will label for the difference of beliefs and lifestyle choices, who will call you out of your name and will do anything to make you suffer, who make hateful, slanderous videos against you and calls love and evil, and act that harms others. Again, you're referring to molestation and child rape, but you're not gonna say that because if you do, you're gonna sound like a fucking retard. And I love how you're pointing at me in this, but you're not too big of a bitch to just say it out loud. For their agenda is your destruction. Pedophilia never existed, and it's this fake agenda of the evil one. For those who spew fake logic on humanity are worse than terrorists. For those who keep their minds, turn the page, clear of evil is indeed pure as the heavens. Beware of those who claim false doctrine to push their own agenda to suppress you, for their punishment is your reward. Be afraid of the labeling, blame others, for their suffering is a cancer to your soul. For bigots can't keep their hatred to themselves, but be wise how to keep hatred out of their souls. Life and death are in control of the individual. Not all the time. Sometimes people just die in accidents. Those who honor the truth will be above all else. Freedom of the choice of all people, and all people who have the right to choose for themselves. If people have the right to choose for themselves, then why the fuck are you talking down to a bunch of people for no reason? I mean, a minute ago you just gave people like a fuckload of restrictions. You essentially said that anyone that had a gun was going to hell, so choose for themselves unless it's against what you want. For outside of the sources may restrict you, but this is redeemed out of every situation. Justice belongs to those who want it, for those who are corrupted cannot take it from you. Freedom does not come from violence, but from intelligence and wisdom. Sex are for those who want it, for all of humanity loves sex. Yet hateful are those who denies you access to sex. Okay, well, what about? Okay, so if you want to ask someone if they want to sleep with you and they say no, are they evil because they say no? For censorship is the destruction of freedom. For if you choose to have sex, then enjoy it. The conservatives will complain, like the fools they are, but the wise won't interrupt their individual freedoms for the devil's lies. Devil, 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 devil. Do I need to just like get my fucking devil horns out and just like wear them on my fucking head when you're doing this stupid shit? I mean, really, this is autistic as hell. Chapter 5, Enlightenment. How to become enlightened. The Divine Comedy. Okay, so you stole something from Dante Alighieri's The Divine Comedy. I'm not going to read that because that's a bunch of shit that he's copied from someone else's works. Chapter 6, Getting Education. The Book of Amos Ye. Let's see here. Everything about modern feels like an obstacle in experiencing the peace of mind, but be aware of the fights to maintain inner peace. Avoid trying to change others. Motherfucker, you're trying to change everyone else all the fucking time. I love how it's essentially just like, yeah, do good deeds, mind what you eat, exercise on a regular basis, be assertive, meditate, avoid trying to change others. Dude, all you're doing is trying to change others. All you've ever fucking done is run people around in a circle, antagonize the ever-loving shit out of them, and then try to make them feel ashamed for not thinking the way you'd like them to. That's all you've ever fucking done. That's always been your fucking motif, is talk down to people and screech if they don't agree with you. Because you're just too fucking stupid and crazy to accept the fact that people don't have to listen to you. And that's the thing, you want people to listen to you. You want people to believe that you're some sort of brilliant sage that knows it all, when the reality is you're just a fucking nut. Chapter 7, How to Defeat Stupid People. You mean how to defeat yourself. The Book of I. Do you ever feel like people are out to get you? Maybe someone in your life has a pattern of behavior that seems to undermine the system, that they really get under your skin. You wonder if this person ever thinks before they act. They seem clueless and inept, always making a mess of wherever they go. You mean like how every time people disagree with you, you proceed to screech and ree? Okay, now he's quoting Socrates and Plato, which does not really... Okay, let's get to the point. Do not be disconcerting about the foolish ones around for you. Someday their foolishness will be their folly. For everyone with wisdom can end bullying, but only a fool continues to be one. Corrupted science is not real science. How do you define what's corrupted science and what isn't real science if you yourself never actually use science? Conservatives like Gage will poison your mind with fake science and will bully those who expose him. Conservatives will always be jealous of those with intelligence and wisdom, and will try to steal your blessing from you and claim that them as your own. Ignore those who are like this. The Gage and Jimmy Swaggarts of the world. Be you and lead yourself and others to greatness. Just because Gage's an idiot doesn't mean you have to be. Ree. Dear fuckface. Yeah, you sound like a real fucking genius. You sound really fucking clever and smart when you essentially just do a bunch of bitching that does nothing but prove that you ripped off a bunch of other religions and tried to throw them all together. You basically ripped off things from Dante Alighieri's Divine Comedy and the fucking lectures of Plato and Socrates and Aristotle. You start ripping off all these other philosophers who you know for a fact that you can't comprehend 90% of what they're fucking saying because you're an ugly fish-headed dumbass. All I'm saying is this religion is essentially just a glorified cult. Fuck you.